Hi guys, Kevin from Gopherlax, and today we're going to do an overview of some new mesh. If you guys have seen it on Instagram, you probably have seen the posts of Kid Mesh and the Mesh Daddy. So there's 4 different products in here. All will be available and showcased at Laxcon. So if you didn't get any, you'll be there. You'll get it soon. All of them come in these little containers. And if you notice, there's a Peter skull on the top. You get a little tiny Peter skull in there. Sweet. So the first one, stringy bundle, feels like your normal sidewall shooters. The shooters actually have a little more texture to them. It's kind of nice. I feel like a denser version of Hero Strings. So the force. What makes the force different? So true diamond technology, the diamonds, as you'll see when I stretch it, are a true diamond shape, where in a lot of mesh that when you string it, they go from a diamond to a much different shape. So what this is technically allowed to let you do is to have more control and ball feel when it's in the mesh, as well as be able to string and shape the pocket easier. So as you can see, as I'm looking in here, that the diamonds are that true diamond shape. Now even when I pull them apart, you'll see what's kind of cool about this. So as I'm pulling it apart, you can see how the mesh is arcing to the center diamond. Hopefully that's coming apparent there. If not, we'll look at it from the back. So what that does is it's pulling and pushing the ball to that center channel. So instead of rolling up the side, hopefully it's going to hit that and roll out. Some interesting stuff. I will give an honest review of it when I string it up. But if I'm doing this Skittle mesh, I'm going to have to use some kind of funky head. Maybe I have to break out one of the chrome heads I have. But force mesh. So the force mesh is one of 2 in the line for men. The second one, if you saw my Instagram story today, brief as it is the Recoil. And the Recoil comes with this sucker. So it's got some spongy shooters, I'm going to say. Really don't know if they would work that well as sidewall, and I'll explain why in a minute. We have the shooter pack, and I was trying to see if maybe those are the sidewall for this. Interesting. We'll test that out. And most importantly, the mesh. So we're just going to dub this stretchy mesh. It basically has these polymers woven into, and you can see by the clips up there, into 2 of the outer channels on the mesh that when you pull on it, they stretch dramatically, while these ones in the middle still same consistent and the same. But I mean, you can see how much these are changing here, and hopefully you can hear it. It's got that weird sound, like almost like it's gonna rip out and break, but it snaps right back into place. So this is interesting. I could see this being ideal to catch with. That as you receive the ball, it will kind of cradle the ball into the pocket. Don't know about shooting with this yet. I'm wondering will it sway left and right as you bring your arms back and up to shoot? But we'll test. I would also see that when you're stringing this, I would not pull this down tightly, especially on the first few rows. You really don't want to arc those sides. I would first try to go with a gentle, more shallow pocket and work from there. Some of the fun stuff with testing some of the stuff out is trying to figure out how it strings up and what's the best way to string it up. It's very interesting though. I'm gonna definitely play around with that. You know, the skill mesh for the force is calling me. All right, so now we're going into one of the ones I actually wanted to get the most. Ignite. Lady mesh. And another skull. So, why do I want to get this? It's simple. Shooting back. For the most part, I don't like women's mesh. Not counting ECD Venom and the Fire Threads 11, just for the fact that you have the leather runners, the leather next to the runners that you can support and keep the pocket from bagging out. Where with normal mesh, I feel it just bags out and becomes way too inconsistent. You know, there's going to be a time when women's mesh works for a woman's head. That's when the heads are designed to carry and support the mesh. Right now you're trying to cram the square peg in the round hole, so you're doing a lot of reverse engineering on the mesh in order to get it to work. USA themed. Can't go wrong with that. So, what makes this different? This mesh reminds me a lot in design of Vortex mesh, kind of. You can see here, as it stretches out at the top, the diamonds are big, and similar to the Force mesh, you can kind of see where it's arcing, trying to pull the ball from the sides to the middle. But what makes it different, down at the bottom, the diamonds are a lot smaller. So these diamonds are true, almost like the Vortex. Or not the Vortex, the Force mesh. So you can keep the pocket consistently up in the top and pull this tighter down here to avoid bagging out. So this is going to be interesting. This probably will be the first one I string up just because I want to test it. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if only I had a new woman's head to string it in. Oh. The new True head. Seems like the perfect candidate. It's got a blue ball stop and a blue jewel. It's got a good offset. I think this will be an excellent candidate. This will be the first one I string up. Because I want to see how this compares to some of the other women's heads I have that don't have mesh. How does it hold? How does it catch? How does it release? Things of that nature. But definitely very interesting. I like what they've done on this. But we'll see how it turns out. All right. Moving right along. Number 4. The Big Daddy. Defines mesh. So this is the goalie mesh. What separates this? Oh, and again. What separates this from other meshes? It's in a bigger can. What it is kind of taking the Ignite, but moving the diamonds in a different spot. So instead of where the Ignite is all up here and the diamonds are down there, what this does is keeps the center few channels a certain diamond path, but you can see the outers stretch out and change, and at the same time, even when I'm pulling here, they're trying to kind of stretch and pull everything to this center white row. So, what's that mean? I think on this, it's going to be easier to string a pocket that's easy to catch, throw with, and deep without having to do a bunch of tricks and pulling the mesh down really tightly. This will be interesting. I need to pick up a goalie head. Now, I could be a good buddy and just take Darkstar's stick and restring that, but what's the fun in that? So, we will test out this one. This one will probably be last. Like I said, I need to pick up a goalie head. If you guys Want to see a specific goalie head? Comment down below. If you guys want to see a specific head on this or this, comment down below. You already know what I'm doing with this. So give me some time to play with these and give an honest review. If you have any questions, hit me up.